Welcome, average anglers, to the Average Angler Shed. Today we're doing a little bit more work on my new or second-hand box, my new to me but second-hand box. So I've got, for those that haven't seen the video, this is the seat from a Preston Absolute station, 30mm leg version, so not an older version. And one of the things that I've got with it is this. Now I don't use this pole hook very often. That's what I call it, like a pole loop or pole. But if I do want to use it, I won't feel very happy about the fact that it's going to be able to support my pole. And so I want to change it. And I thought, oh well, that's a shame, because you know everything else in the box is pretty much functional. So I looked into it, and you can actually get replacements. There's two or three different types of the Preston pole. Let's see what Preston call them. They call them the pole retaining strap. So there's 2 or 3 different types of pole retaining strap in Preston. And the one that fits this box, after going into the tackle shop and having a chat with Zoe at Average Angler, she sorted it out for me. I don't know if you can see it there. I'll try and put it close enough. Hopefully it's picking up the part number. Preston's part number P5000008. So it's 5 with 5 zeros and an 8. P5000008. Okay, and it's called the pole retaining strap, new version in brackets. There is an older version. I think it's a little bit thicker. I don't know if it's got the same footprint. So no, I don't know. I've never taken this apart. I've not done any internet on the research on the internet. So I don't know what I'm letting myself in for. But I'm sure we can work it out as we go along. I don't think it's going to be that complicated. I can see 4 holes, which I'm going to assume are either screws or pegs or something that's going to be in there. So we've got to take the seat off so we can see. Maybe this is screwed to the seat, and then the seat is screwed to this. We'll find out in a minute. So that's what you get. I can't remember what I paid for it. Don't think it was very expensive. You know, I think you're talking sort of £10 upwards sort of bracket for one of them, 10 quid, which is nothing really in the grand scheme of things. So when you take your lid off, underneath you've got this arrangement on the Preston ones. That's designed to store, for anybody, just for those people who don't know, that's just for storing your hook length boxes in, right? So I've had a quick look at it and I've seen that there's loads of screws around the edge, but I think those screws hold the plastic piece to the framework, and then there's these screws here, 1 2 3 4 there, 5 6 7 8 9 10 there, and I think those screws hold the seat to the plastic piece. So I'm hoping if I remove those 10 screws, the seat will come off and I will just have the frame left. So let's see if I'm correct, because I don't know this for sure. Because as I said, I've not done any research into this or watched anybody else's videos to see what's going on. Now, like I said, I don't use this retaining strap very often. But when you've got a box that you think, this box is probably going to last me at least, knowing me, probably 8 or 10 years, then I want everything to be right on it. Because that one, yeah, it's going to come off. Look, see, that's going to come off. That's brilliant. So then on that one occasion when I do want to use it, I mean, if I was out fishing today, I might want to use it. It's absolutely blowing a gale outside. It might be perfect for skimmer fishing. Oh, that one there has gone through. Look, so there's a bit of damage there. Looks like the box, looks like the plastic's a bit damaged there. If I found something, I might see if I can get a washer and just put a washer on that so that it's supported again better. So we're all clear that. There we are, a little bit of moisture's got in there over time, look. So that's filthy in there, so I'm going to have to clean all that, but I was right, look, there's 4 screws. Oh, they're going to be slightly smaller screw, I think. That's what I've got here. Don't want to round them off. I can help it, he's not coming out easily. Right, so we've got some screws here that don't want to come undone, and as I push down on them I can feel the foam of the seat giving, which means the screwdriver's not digging in very well. These do look like they've gone a little bit rotten. I'm going to have to take my time with those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, I'm going to turn you off for a second, and I'm going to come back after I've cleaned all this off, because you don't want to watch me cleaning this, it's just wood. I'm just going to clean it, see what sort of state it's in. And then we'll go from there. So you're a little bit clean, it's still filthy. I'm going to do a bit more cleaning of it, but it just makes it clean enough for me to work on for now. I've got a little bit of water that's got into the box here, it's very soft, the wood. So before I put it back together, I'm going to dry it out, and I'll probably paint this wood as well, just to try and protect it a little bit. Although I think the water's coming from the other side, if I'm totally honest. The water's sort of worked its way through the seat when you're fishing, and then it gets out the back here. So while I've got it off, it's an opportunity. I can take it in the house, stick it on a radiator and just let it dry up for a bit. But I've still got these, which are an issue at the moment, and I've tried a couple of different screwdrivers in them, and they're just not having it, because they've rotted so much that they're no longer the right shape, and the screwdriver's not biting into them. So I'm going to have to come up with, oh no, there we are, this is better. This thinner screwdriver seems to have bitten. There we are. One there doesn't want to know. And there's that one, but these two are going to come out. I'm going to get my little junior axle, and I'm going to cut a groove in those, make a little slot for a flat head, and then I'll take them out and I'll replace these screws with something out of my stash of screws, because they're knackered. So I've had a little play about off camera to work out how to do this, and all I've done is I've forced this, because this rubber's quite soft, I've forced it over the top of the screws, because I can't get them off, because I managed to get these back ones out, rather than any fancy messing about trying to make new heads. And then I can just slowly use my pliers, take these out. Don't pull these out, because obviously you want to keep some thread, any sort of thread that's in there you want to keep. It might just come with a screwdriver, this one. And it's just totally rounded off. So they shouldn't be tight, because it's just in wood. So a self tapper into wood, not normally that difficult to get out, but it's because the heads are gone. Obviously there's been a lot of moisture under this box to cause that kind of level of corrosion. So obviously now it's just a case of putting that back on there, fitting that back into its position there, and just putting the screws back through the hole, and just putting the top back on and screwing it back on. It's that easy. But I'm going to stop there for a bit, because I want to tidy this up. Now I've seen it, I've got to do something about it. It's a right mess. So I'll take it in the house and see what we can do with it. What I did with all this build up was, wherever I could have just got a flat, if you know, paint scraper would do, as long as you're careful. You can see where it goes soft, it's just gone there. The wood's not in good order. Just scrape all that excess crap out of the way, and then I've just rubbed it with some sandpaper to try to get back to some wood. It's very soft, the surface, it's very wet over its years of use. So now would be a good opportunity to dry it out in a manner that it probably won't get dried out ever when you're using it. Even if you sat it outside in the sun, which is so sealed away behind that plastic, it just wouldn't get dried out. So you may see the second part of this video any second now, but it would have actually been a whole day, a couple of days. I don't know how long it's going to take me to dry this up until I'm happy with it. See you in a bit. Right, it's been a few hours later, guys, but we're back. I've dried this out best I can. Put a bit of heat on it with my heat gun. I had it in the living room for a while. Then I've just give it a quick one coat with a spray can of black paint. It's not to get a nice finish, because it's not a nice finish. It's just to seal it up a bit, and it just looks a bit better than all the skanky messy as it was before. Now, if you remember before, we had these little screws that were getting a bit rotten. So I've gone through my stash and I found some of a very similar length. They're slightly longer, so I'm hoping they're not going to poke through and stick me in the bum, but I don't think they will. And sadly, I couldn't get all four the same. I've got a black one there and a silver one and a different one, but that's what happens when you're going through your stash. You have to do what you got to do with. What you got to try and look for is that they're the same sort of length, and that the new ones are either the same diameter or ever so slightly bigger is good, especially if the wood's a bit tired like my wood seems to be. And then we can drop there. I'm hoping that's showing up in the shot. Yes, it is. Yeah. So we can drop this back in there. Look down. You'll see your holes lining up, and you can just start these straight back in. I don't use the drill on these sort of scenarios because I want to have a feel of how tight I'm doing it. I don't want to. This is wood, and as we've already seen, this wood. Tightest fit is that one. This might be a better fit actually. As we've already seen, the wood's a bit soft, so the last thing I want to do is hammer it down with a drill, because it could very quickly just strip it all out, and then then it's going to be rubbish. Got this bit flush there. Should be very easy to do. If it's not very easy to do, you've not found the original hole. There shouldn't be any hardly resistance. And I've got one odd one there. Couldn't find a nice shiny one. It was the right sort of size. See, like that's not quite finding its way, so it's not right. There we are. Has it found its way? Yeah, there we are. With the rubber, I would say tighten it until the rubber just deflects. I've got countersinks here, so they're going to sit flush. Once you see the rubber sort of being compressed by the screw, that's enough, because you could just keep tightening it with a rubber, and it'll just go all the way down, and it'll just be too far down. It's not going to come off, because once you sit the box on top, it can't go anywhere. So we'll bin those 4 screws. They've pretty much seen they've seen better days then. We've got nice bigger heads now actually, they're nice and flat, so that's not going to be a problem. I think these 2 are stainless steel. Some old screws that I bought from another project for my camper van. Oh, and the final thing I was going to do was get a washer if I've got one. Don't know what I've got. A little box of bits and bobs. Let's have a quick look. I've got some. It'll be reasonably easy to find in a packet. Too big. Oops, that's going to be too big, I think. No, perfect. Right, there we are. It's not the right size washer for this, but that's what I want. I want it as big as possible, so that I'm pulling down as bigger area as I can. I'm not pulling down hard anyway, so it's not matter. But it's just that screw in that corner there, where the plastic broke when I was taking it off. Don't know if I can show you that on the camera, but just there. The idea is now that will sit in there. So what I suggest you do with these is sort of start one one corner, let it find its own position, and then start one in another corner. Find the right spot. That's it. So you have to manoeuvre it around until it finds the right spot where it was originally. And if you do the corners first, and don't tighten them up, just use the corners to get it located. You have to sort of lean it over a little bit with your fingers. This one here that seems to be out, everything else seems to be cock on. He started now, so he's on a bit on a bit of an angle, but he has started. So there we are. Get them all started before you tighten them up. So if you tighten one up, it'll stop it. It'll stop the plastic bit from moving, and then you won't be able to align it. Which could then be a problem if you need to move it to get one of your screws to line up. Get them all sort of started in the threads, in the holes. That feels like it's not moving around, it's tight enough. And voila! A bit dirty because I've got loads of crap on my bench when I was cleaning down earlier, but I can soon clean that up with we replaced that. Okay, so if you, not complicated, not difficult, 99% of you will know how to do that, but there'll be some people out there that are like, oh, that's giving me a bit of confidence, I'll try that with mine, or I didn't know you could buy them. Now you know you can buy them. Keep that, that's nice, that rubber. That'll be in my stash of bits and bobs for another project at another time probably. There we have it, thank you very much.